I want to ask, what were you like in high school? First of all, you went to high school in Pittsburgh. Do you want to say what high school you went to?
Not necessarily.
Someone asked if you were from Mount something.
Mount Lebanon. No, I lived in the North Hills. In probably early high school, my parents divorced, so we moved to like different places. So it was kind of weird and sketchy, but yeah.
Most women didn't divorce back then.
My mother needed to get a divorce.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, she had to get one.
Who were you in high school?
Who was I? I was the really popular girl.
No, you weren't.
And my boyfriends were all football players, and I was a cheerleader. Not so much, no.
That's like your sister was a cheerleader, right?
I think my one sister was a cheerleader.
But you're not a cheerleader.
Type, no. You were a cheerleader for years. Imagine, Lorraine was a really good cheerleader.
Okay. There are different cliques and everything. What would you consider yourself?
I was probably more of, like a best friend at a time kind of person. I wasn't. I was sort of in groups of kids at different points in time, depending on where I was living. But I functioned better being like really good friends with like one or two people.
That's how I function.
Yeah.
How'd you dress?
In high school, I think that people started wearing jeans. Just probably jeans and shirts.
Do you have any pictures of you from then?
No. My parents got divorced. I think my mother just tore out of there. And so that's why I like antiques sometimes, is that I'll repurchase things that I remember from my childhood.
Because you don't really have anything from then? That's sad.
And then when I moved out of the house at a pretty young age.
How old were you when you moved out of the house?
I was 17.
So were you still in high school when you did that?
Yeah. I did it in my last year of high school. But anyways, when I moved out...
So you're a pretty independent person then?
Oh yeah, totally independent.
So is that where I get that from?
Probably. But when I moved out, what was I going to say? Oh, then later on, I questioned my mom about my things. And at that point, I think she moved again. And I think she threw my things away. So I didn't really have anything from my past at all.
Have you always had real short hair?
No. I had long hair back then.
How long when you were in high school?
There.
How tall are you? They all ask that all the time.
How tall? I think I'm 5'6". And what, you're 5'10", right?
With heels. I'm 5'7".
Are you? You look my height.
That's because you have more body in your hair than I do.
Oh. Daddy keeps saying that he thinks I'm shrinking. I'll have to
Didn't your
measure.
mother shrink?
Oh, yeah. She's 3 foot now.
No.
No. She's probably 4 foot.
I was thinking about when people smoke. Like a lot of times they'll have those real bad lines like around the mouth. Like that's where you can tell when someone smokes. Does Grandma have that? She smoked for really. She has nice skin.
I don't think
So
she-
that's
she
all
got
genetics. But smoking can help increase
that.
that.
If you smoke while you're laying in the sun,
But I was thinking about that because I'm like, smoking really ages people's skin because I've seen people that smoke and their skin looks pretty horrible. But Grandma has really nice skin and she smoked until she had to get on oxygen, right?
yeah, I don't think she has those lines around her mouth. Unless she's had, like, injections
Yeah, right.
that I'm unaware of.
Go to any dances or anything? Proms or homecomings or anything like that?
I was not that kind of a kid. And at that point, there was a point where my parents divorced, where there was really not very much money at all. So when that happened, I really just didn't even want to go there. I mean, my sisters had gone to all the proms and dances and whatever, but then by the time I got to high school, which I wanted my parents to get divorced, so I was totally fine with that, not having any money, but I just didn't even think about doing those kinds of things because I really knew that there really wasn't the money to spend money on, the dresses and all that stuff.
Quite a few girls ask me about maybe their homecomings coming up and a dress for under $100. What would you suggest?
Well, I think now, like, those kind of events are a little more casual.
At least homecoming is,
At
yeah.
least homecoming. So just like a simple little, I just remember when you were in high school, no matter how much money people had, and at that high school, people had a lot of money. I would say that most of those girls just wore like a little black dress.
Yeah, it's very true.
And you could probably get a little black dress just about anywhere, pretty inexpensively. Just you have to try some on and find one that fits cute, and put some Lisa Taubes on with it, some pretty earrings on with it, and go to maybe a little vintage store and buy a little clutch bag or borrow a little clutch from your mom or whatever. I think that it's really not hard to look cute in a little black dress.
I was thinking of maybe going to your house and looking through my old prom dresses and things like that. And maybe I could do like they'd all be like certain sizes, but maybe I could do a little giveaway for those people that maybe can't afford. Because what am I going to do with those dresses?
Right. You have some cute dresses there.
Yeah.
So you should pull those out and sort of, people tell you what size they need or whatever, if they're the size you were at that point.
I think at that point in time I was a little larger than I am now, so
like a size 6 or something.
4 or 6 maybe.
But yeah, you have a closet full of stuff
Yeah.
that really should be worn. And would that be fun that somebody says, "Oh, I have one"?
I have like a dress that I wore
Stanick's
for my
dress.
8th grade prom. That's like real like poofy and stuff like that. Somebody'd love that, I bet.
They'd probably just go nuts for it. Yeah, there are a lot of cute ones.
Yeah.
And even if they ended up not wearing it, if it didn't fit quite right, I'm sure they'd think it was
Maybe
fun
they'd
to
have a
it.
friend that needed a dress or something. That's one thing they could do is maybe if maybe they could look through, maybe their friends and them would have dresses and stuff that they could just kind of trade and stuff and wear them and use their friend's dress for something like
Well,
that.
I think back in the day it was really that you had to have like a new dress for every occasion. You really had to have new shoes, new handbag, and all this stuff. And back then, when Lorraine would have a prom or a dance or whatever, we would immediately just go out and buy the whole thing, and it wasn't a big deal. But if there are sometimes people in situations where it just is more of a big deal, and I could understand that right now. And so if people should do like a little more sharing and stuff.
Do when you were in high school?
I just sort of hung out and stuff. It was just more the lifestyle. I mean,
Well, where would you hang out? Just at a friend's house, or did you ever have a place that you went that you hung out?
usually just at a friend's house. We did a lot of staying over at one another's homes.
A lot of drinking?
There was a fair amount of drinking in high school on the weekends. Not such a good thing, but yeah, we did it.
It's just going to be the nature of any teenager. I wasn't really like that, but you would hang out and get wasted. What was your favorite drink when you were in high school?
We used to drink Boone's Farm wine. It was, I think, 99 cents a bottle.
That's disgusting.
Did they still make it?
I don't know. I think when I was in high school, people would drink like Bud Light and really gross beer. So there was no like, for me, that's disgusting.
I was never a beer drinker. I never, was really a beer drinker. But Boone's Farm, and
Do they still make that? It's probably not 99 cents anymore.
it was gross. I don't think they still make it. But we would each girl would get a bottle. And we'd maybe drink it between like 2 nights or whatever.
Oh, that's nice.
And then I think the other thing that we drank was vodka.
I like vodka.
So we drank vodka and wine. But you just really have to be careful. Alcohol could be bad. You don't want anybody driving and drinking. You don't want anybody drinking and then being unaware of what they're doing. You just really have to keep your wits about you. Otherwise, you're going to be, vulnerable. It's not good.
Did you have any jobs as a teenager?
I started working, I think, at 15.
And what was your job?
I worked at a pizza shop on Route 8 in Pittsburgh called Casey's Pizza.
Was it still there?
I don't know, I think maybe it is.
What did you do?
I worked the register, and then I made pizzas, and I probably did a variety of things, but I mostly probably made the pizzas, which really good at doing that, made the hoagies, and worked the register, and I really liked that job. I think I probably was paid like $1.50 an hour or something. I don't know what they paid minimum wage back then, was really low.
Mm-hmm.
So I worked there, and then
Next job?
my next job was at, I don't know if I want to say, because I don't even know if you all know I worked there, but I worked at Burger King. That's crazy. I worked at Burger King, and that was crazy because the managers there were really bizarre. And at that point is when I moved out on my own. And the managers from Burger King, I mean, they were bad people. I mean, they were bad people. They were bad.
Like, what'd they do?
They just did, they were, I remember it was like Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve or something, and they gave us all like drinks in the basement of the Burger King, and we were all like drunk as hell working at Burger King on like the holiday or the preview of the holiday, and we were young. I mean, they could have gotten in so much trouble, but they were crazy guys that just did like bad things. They were bad people. Bad. It was bad.
Mm-hmm. So you got drunk in the basement at Burger King.
Right.
How old were you?
I was probably 17. And then my next job was the hair salon.
Mm-hmm.
That's when then I started to go to beauty school, and then I worked in the hair salon, and then for a while I worked at the hair salon and Burger King and Casey's.
Wow.
The three-way job.
Because you wanted to get ahead.
I was doing everything I could.
Mm-hmm.
So it was funny. Yeah, it was funny.
What was your favorite job?
My favorite job was probably the hair salon. I really learned a lot from the people that I worked for because they were like just great people, really professional, and really fun to work around and really caring about you. And they helped me get on my feet. They helped me through my divorce. They helped me, the man that owned the salon, I actually moved into his house, in an apartment in his house with his daughter for a while. And they were just really good people.
And tomorrow's video will be about Pittsburgh. Because I've seen quite a few questions about Pittsburgh.
Yeah, if people want to live in Pittsburgh, still, hands down, my favorite place to live in Pittsburgh is Shady Side.
But how long has it been since you went to Pittsburgh? It's been several years since you've been there.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Maybe you'll find something even more appealing at this point in time.
I don't think so.
When are we going to Pittsburgh?
Maybe we'll go like in November.
That's too far.